Okay, folks, Anthony here with some more music theory from Alfred's Essentials of Music Theory. This is Unit 13, Lesson 51 on page 83. This is Book 3, or it's just Unit 13 if you have the complete version of the book. So I highly recommend having the book. I say that every video just about. So make sure you've done the work before you watch the videos because you'll get more out of it if you learn from your mistakes. Okay, so today's lesson is on first inversion triads, okay? So any root position triad may be changed by moving the root or the bottom note of the chord to another position. This is called an inversion. It means the notes are rearranged and a tone other than the root is the bottom note of the chord, okay? The first inversion can be made from a C triad by moving the root C to the top of the chord. So all that means is you have your normal root position chord here, right? C, E, G. That's how you'd normally play a C major chord. And all you do is you take this C and bloop, take it from the bottom and stick it on the top. So now your bottom note of the chord becomes the E, which is the third of the chord. Okay, so I'm going to skip down for a second. So what that's saying is in first inversion, the third is always on the bottom note. So remember that. This is probably the most important sentence on this page. In the first inversion, the third is always the bottom note. That's it. Okay. So here's just an example. You can look at these on your own. First inversion triads in C major. The third is on the bottom. It's built on every single scale degree, right? So here's your C, E, G, your one chord. Here's your D, F, A, your two chord. Here's your E, G, B, your three chord. Here's your F, A, C, your four chord. G, B, D, your five chord. A, C, E, your six chord. B, D, F, your seven chord. And back to C, E, G, the one chord again. So, and notice I was saying the top note first, which is the root of the chord, and then skipping to the bottom note, which was the third of the chord when you're in first inversion. Okay, moving on. Let's talk about open and closed positions. When the notes of a chord are spaced within an octave, it is in closed position. When the notes of a chord are spaced larger than an octave, it's in open position. Okay, and this can come into play for various reasons. Sometimes people ask why you would use closed position versus open position. It might be the kind of arranging you're doing. Maybe you're arranging for a choir, or maybe you're arranging for an orchestra. I would think in arranging for orchestra, you're going to have a lot of open position chords just because the voicings are so far apart. You might have a flute and then you might have a double bass. So in that case, it would be pretty much impossible to have anything but open position voicings. So closed position voicings, that's kind of what you're going to see, um, you know, basically a lot. Right here, this is a closed position. That's a closed position. It's spaced within one octave, right? You can see that from E to C, that's within one octave. From C to G, that's within one octave. And then open position voicings, you can see they're spread out a little bit more. Boom. So here, you've got the root there, and then it skips the third. You got the fifth there, and then boom, you just take that third that was here and just throw it up on top. Okay, same with this one, right? You've got the third on the bottom, the fifth there, and the root there. What they do over here is they just take this fifth and bloop, stick it on top. So they pull it out of the middle of the chord and stick it on the top. So you've got a much wider voicing. I would recommend checking some of these voicings out on a piano so you can kind of hear what they sound. They sound, I mean, they just serve different functions. So take a listen and see if you can tell the difference between the open position and the closed position chords. Anyway, let's get on to the exercises. Okay, so exercise 1, rewrite the following root position triads in open position. So here's the first example, right? So it looks like you've got F, A, C for your chord there. So they keep the F on the bottom, they move the A up to the top there, and they keep the C right where it is. So check it out. That stays there. That stays where it is, but this A whoosh, jumps up to the top. So that's what we're going to do for all of these voicings, right? So let's just go ahead and do that. Let's move the G over there and keep that right there. Let's move the D right there, and then we'll move this B all the way up to the top of the staff, and that is your open position chord. All right, next one. So here again, we're going to just move that over, keep that right where it is. Move that over, keep that right where it is. And then we're going to move the third of the chord, boom, up to the top. Sorry, I'm not even paying attention to what note it is. Okay, so we need a ledger line for the C there. Okay, so that's that position. This one again, we're going to move the root over C and keep it right there. We're going to move the fifth over G, and we're going to keep it right there. And then we're going to throw this E up on top, right? And so we're going to need a couple of ledger lines for that one. Boom. Put that one right up there. And there's your open position chord there. All right, continuing on. Exercise 2. Using the given notes as the root, add the third and the fifth below each note to make first inversion triads in the key of C. Okay, so let's unpack that. Right here, the given note is the root. So right here, you know that's a C chord because they're telling you that. The given note is the root. So this is going to be a C, E, G normally if you were stacking them in thirds. But it says add the third and the fifth below each note to make first inversion triads. So normally this would be a C, E, G like that if you were just stacking in normal thirds. But because we're not doing that, right, you move those notes that would normally be up here below, building on the third, which is E, to create a first inversion. Remember, first inversion, in first inversion, the third is always on the bottom. Okay, so using the given notes, let's do it. Okay, so we know this is the root, so this is going to be, and sometimes you can write the notes like this, E, G, B. If that helps you, I would do that because it helps you think about the chord. So you know the chord is E, G, B. So what do we got to do? We have to put the third and the fifth below each note to make first inversion triads. So we're going to go E, G, B. E's already there. We're going to put the G down below and the B right there. So now we've got your E, G, B, right? If you don't want to write that, you don't have to, but sometimes that helps people who are just getting into this. So now we've got D. So this chord is going to be D, F, A, but we need to put the F and the A below to get first inversion. So now it's built on the third. So a D, F, A chord. The F is the third of that chord. So there you have it. Next one, this is going to be a G, B, D chord, right? So moving those down to the bottom, you've got G and B. Oh, sorry, I'm not doing that correctly. You need the D and the B on the bottom. So you've got G, B, D. And there is your first inversion chord. Next one, B, D, F. You're going to get used to hearing these chords stacked in thirds. If you're not used to hearing that, like to me, I see B and I immediately think, okay, B, D, F. You'll get used to that and you'll hear those chords stacked in thirds. Those will start to become just like words to you. Okay, so B, D, F. The D and the F go below, building on the third to create first inversion. Next one, F, A, C, because that's an F. So we're going to put the A and the C below to create first inversion. Here we go. C, E, G. So we're going to put the E, we're going to put the E and the G down below. I'm thinking bass clef. So I'm like, why is this not working out? So this is A, C, E, my mistake. So this is A on that first ledger line, A, C, E. There you go. And let's move on. Using the given notes as the third, add the fifth and the root above each note to make first inversion triads in the key of C, closed position. Okay, so using the given note as the third. So now in this case, every one of these is going to be the third. Add the fifth and the root above each note to make first inversion triads. So since this is the third, right, this chord, E, pretend that we were stacking just in basic thirds. This would be C, E, G, right? And what they're doing essentially is in a root position chord, they're moving the bottom note up to the top, okay? And then there you go. That's your first inversion chord. So this, since this is an A, this chord would normally be F, A, C, right? So we can put the C there, but we got to put the F up top. So now you have F, A, C. It's a first inversion triad because the A, which is the third of the chord, in first inversion, the third is always on the bottom. All right, going on. So this chord, so this is the third. They told us that. So we're going to go A, C, E. That's how it would normally be in a nice root position. But we got to move that A from the bottom and stick it up top onto our first ledger line. Now it's built on the third. That's first inversion. Next one, got the D. We know that's the third, so that's going to be B, D, F is going to be our chord. We can keep the F right there stacked above the third, but we got to move that B that would normally be down there in root position and stick it up top for a first inversion. So now you've got B, D is the third on the bottom, and then F. Next one, this is going to be D, F, A. Okay, we can put the A there, but the D that would normally be down there has to go up to the top. All right, next one. This would be E, G, B. Okay, so we've got to put the B right there, just keep the fifth where it belongs. But the E that would have been on the bottom, let's throw up on top, leaving the third G on the bottom for first inversion. All right, next one, B, D, F. I'm sorry, this is the third, so it's going to be G, B, D. Let's put the D right there. And then the G that would have been down here in root position goes up to the top for first inversion. Cool. And so, as you can see, I make some mistakes on this as I'm going through it, just some mental errors. I'm not editing these videos. It's just straight ahead doing the work. And you'll probably make some mistakes too. So don't feel bad if you're messing up, and keep working hard, and we'll see you at lesson 52.